You're on YouTube right now, aren't you?
Yeah, I'm checking it. I don't think it exists though.
Do you want to know what's on
Um,
my tab on my laptop? Do you know what I was doing for the last 10 minutes before we got on here?
what?
I had 10 minutes free and I was like, what am I going to do? I'm not going to just sit and be miserable. I was watching California.
That's so good.
Hey, I'm Baby Queen.
Hi, I'm Katie Beza.
Hey, this is Rand McMullen.
Hi guys, Lara here.
Hey, I'm Jim Koala.
Hi, I'm Astrides.
And you are listening to Léim Thart.
And you're listening to Léim Thart.
And you're listening to Léim Thart.
It's out now.
I really hope you enjoy it.
So enjoy.
It's a good day and a bad day all at once. I'm delighted not only to welcome Tebi Rex onto Léim Thart for the third time. You're the first artist to clock 3 episode appearances, but it's sad because it's the last one, and knowing that it's the last one too, which has made us a little bit somber. But it's nice that it's nicer than a few years going by and thinking what could have been.
Yeah. No, I think that's the way to go. I think it's nice to put full stops on things and get closure on things because we've been saying it for a long time now, but everyone's band is ending. Everyone's quitting something at some stage. But at least we refuse to do it with like an Instagram post or something like that. It had to be like a big piece of art, which is the way to do it, I think.
Yeah, you've done that right, and I'd say you've been plagued by it to an extent all year. You're probably nearly ready for it after making all year about ending.
Yeah, it's so funny. It's so funny. Like I kind of thought, yeah, this is such a great way to do this, and it is, and it's very satisfying, and it makes you think about all the different types of endings in your life, and it gets you very introspective and have a different outlook on endings entirely. And then there was a while where I was like, right, I'm actually kind of tired of talking about endings because people tend to divert straight to the sad endings all the time. But now I'm back being like, no, I want to talk about it more. But sure, look, I only have like 2 weeks left of it, I guess, you know.
Perfect. What an intro that was. Thank you, Matt of Tebi Rex. We need a proper, nice
Oh yeah,
welcome, a nice formal introduction. We've got Matt, we've got the luscious Max Zanga on the way. When will
on
he
the way.
show up? We don't
I
know. It's going to be a
believe
lovely
it's a
surprise.
he's a very, very busy man these days. He's on the ground in Dublin doing the Lord's work, and he's a freelancer, so he's active as hell. Um, so in lieu of him arriving, I'm here anyway.
Yes, fantastic. And I am delighted, of course, to welcome you on because this episode has been like 11 months in the making. Because as soon as you announced in January that Tebi Rex was ending and the final album was due, I just knew immediately that like I couldn't have you on for first and second album and then not somehow manage to scrape even if right at the end of the year we managed to scrape an episode in right before the end.
Absolutely, I had to get in there, man. Of course, 100%.
Absolutely. And it's been 4 years since the last time you were on.
Wow. Yeah, I guess there was a bit of a gap between. I think the first and second album happened quite close together, and then there was a big gap in music, which is so intentional from us. I think, we had the first album, and it was a success, and we wanted to ride the energy of that because I think we kind of found out you're only really hot once. Once you're riding something, you got to keep going. You got to go and keep firing through. And then COVID happened. We were like, we don't know how long this is going to last for. Let's get a second album out and see what happens. And then we realized that we had been releasing music nonstop, almost like on a bi-monthly basis for years. And we're like, right, let's slow down. Let's make stuff when we want to make stuff and have a good time. Let's do an EP. Let's do two EPs. Yeah, and then because we always knew we were going to do the third album would be the last one anyway. So we were like, right, what EPs we want to do, what singles we want to do before we actually look into doing this album. Like we even talked about doing Sitcom 2, like another EP before this final album, just to like kind of almost push it out even further away and try and ignore our ultimate end. But I think we thought, you know what, it's a good time to do it. It's 10 years. Let's rock into this final album.
And I think you've executed it really, really well. Like the fact that you
Thank you.
really thought of the album first before you'd even said a word. And I know like sometimes artists have a concept and then maybe as soon as they say a word publicly, the interpretation gets completely changed and they do change tack. But it's really nice to
Yeah.
see that you had a full concept and an idea there which rolled out in keeping with the theme. And as I've as we've already discussed, it's all just endings, endings, endings. Um,
Yeah,
but
easy team, easy concepts to execute, you know.
really,
I think so. Definitely in comparison to what we've done previously. I think, the first album was very much a highly structured concept album of, the young eat the old, based on like Francesco Goya's painting of Saturn eating his son, and like I kind of had to have that rise and fall route to it that like you can't change the order of that album. It has to be in that order. Likewise with the second album, we did it in chapters, so it felt like a book. And again, order cannot be switched around. With this, you could probably jumble around some of the songs in there. Like that wouldn't be the worst thing in the world to do, thematically. And each song is its own little mini ending. It's not like, it tells somewhat of a story. We wanted obviously the first album being a play structure, second album being a book structure, the third album was a film structure. So we wanted it to feel like a soundtrack in a film, hence the title track or the opening track, like a movie. And Finn being like fan, that French ending.
we
But in the middle, in the middle, you could have jumbled it around. So for us, it was a bit of a relief conceptually.
was this always the plan? Because I have a note here about how you've played with different forms. That there was a play, there was a novel, there was a moment to the side for the sitcom, and then now we have the movie. Was this always the plan to have every body of work be some kind of dramatic form or dramatic or literary form?
Like, it's not like we said to each other when we started, let's do that. But I think for us, we're both lovers of a bit. We're both lovers of a structure. So it doesn't surprise me that that happened. I think sometimes, even sometimes in the albums and stuff, motifs will show up, and we're like, "That's the motif. Keep doing that. We love that. That's actually a great idea." Like, and it happens by accident. So I wouldn't say it was the plan from 10 years ago. But I think once we did the first album in a play format, we both knew that we were going to do the rest of our albums in different artistic formats. That was how it was going to be. The same way in this final album, the motif of like we kept loads of bits of audio, kind of background noise that happened in the studio. And we are like, oh, actually, let's keep them in to make it feel like people are making the final album with us and they can hear it. So yeah, we love a motif.
We really, really do. And we haven't even mentioned yet. The album was called Fin or Fin, and dropped in August.
Someone we were doing an interview there at EP with RT2FM, and they were like, so fan. And I'm like, what are you saying? He's like, fan. I'm like, what are you talking about? And he's like, your album. I'm like, oh, you're pronouncing it correctly. That's crazy. We don't call it that. We call it Fin. And he was like, okay, well, that's wrong. I was like, yeah, that's fine.
That's almost like a bit that you could pull up. You should pull that up at the
Yeah,
show.
I feel it's like saying I know it's not pronounced Barcelona, but I'm going to call it Barcelona. I'm not giving it the Barcelona. I'm not doing that. So it's like I'm
Yeah.
not calling it fan. I'm calling it Finn, and that's me. That's fine.
I don't know. So I have to say, sometimes I'm the opposite way around. Like I refuse to say croissant. Or croissant. It's croissant.
Do you go for it? There's some
I,
words I
I
will
do go for
absolutely
it.
like. I will not. I will people's names. I'll always go for it. But there's
Yeah.
certain words like I think Barcelona and croissant are two of the words I leave. I'm like, no, it's okay.
And you've had a few months now to, I suppose, let people digest it. And I've heard a lot of good things anecdotally. Is there a sense of relief now?
Yeah, I think so. I think the relief is in knowing it was a solid piece of work, if that makes sense. Like I don't think it compares to how well like the first album did in the mainstream and media and in numbers and in all those things that you kind of tend to measure yourself on as an early artist. I think it it's a relief in terms of how good it was as an album to each listener that listened to it. And it's like, yeah, it didn't get the millions of streams that the first album got, but it's much better sonically and thematically, and it's better written, and it moved people a lot more. And the people who listened to it, I got some messages about this album that like meant way more to me than any other way I could have measured myself years ago. And maybe that's just the difference in us as artists as well. Maybe like I think the numbers and all that kind of stuff meant way more to me back then. I wanted to be a successful artist. I wanted to make money off this thing. I wanted to make it a career. Whereas now that I'm leaving it behind, it's a relief to say I wanted to leave a legacy and I wanted to do something good and I wanted to leave it on something that I could be really proud of. And like, obviously, when you finish an album, you kind of know yourself how good it is or how not good it is or what's missing. But you don't really know until everyone else hears it. And you're like, okay, grand, good. That's good. You liked it. It made sense. There were some parts of the album that I was like, I wonder how that part would be received or what people would think of that. Um, but no, it all landed super well. So that was the relief, I think.
Well, I suppose because of, especially now this year, given that you announced at the start of the year that the band was ending, the people who have listened to the band for a long time, or even in the last like 2, 3 years or whatever, they're very much clued in. They're like it's almost like a cult following to an extent, but I almost wouldn't say cult because you're not over yet. Maybe in a few years' time you can call it cult when like the Gen Alphas cop on to like Men Are Trash or something. But
Oh, I'd love that.
they've been very clued in, so I suppose it's, as you were saying, it probably would mean more that like they really like it and that there might be a freedom to making the album, that you're not measuring it by just the number
Yeah.
of plays, and it's about like without making it seem like it's external validation, but like it's about the paragraphs that you've gotten in your inbox.
Yeah, and it is. And a lot of it is actually about external validation. Someone asked me, like, what would you miss the most about the band? And I'm like, there's loads of things I'll obviously miss the most, like performing and making and creating. But like I actually will really miss validation. Like I think a big part of being in a band and performing live and making music is other people being like, good song, like that, good theme, well written, good bar, good this, good that. I'm like, oh, yes. Selfishly, and that doesn't paint me in a good light, but that's true. Like validation's nice. It's nice to be told you're good. So that's something I'll really miss. But I think to what you were saying there, I think you're so right. It's it means far more to me to like the people that have been listening to Tebi Rex and that have put money and time and investment to Tebi Rex and that have spent the energy to show us to their friends or come to our shows. Like I love for those people to have written to us, and a lot of them have, to say, good last album, really enjoyed it. It meant a lot to me. That kind of like that's immeasurable. That's so special. That's a very unique experience that very few people in the world get to do, and that's not really lost on us. But like it's cool. Like I'm looking forward to the final show, to seeing some of these people. Like there's people who are coming who went to the first headline show in 2018 at Workman's, who got their first kiss at that show.
Oh, I
Who
know that story.
That's so funny. Like I'm hoping, like we performed at a girl's engagement. Like I hope that that couple comes to the final show. Like I hope all these people that have been along the Tebi Rex story, and like I would love to see them again. And that's really cool. I think that's incredible. That's kind of like for me, that's what cult following is. And it's a bit mad because like we're selling tickets to the show. I think one thing that's tickets just are moving really well, but I do kind of laugh to myself. I'm like, the reason why some of these tickets are a slog to sell is because I'm 31. A lot of our listeners are also that age or around that age and have kids and have different things and are like trying to get shit sorted for the gig. I'm like, that's gas. Like our age group is like, I would say 24 to 32. That's kind of like where our age group sits. Um, so that's so funny to me. Yeah.
Yeah. Well, I think I've had a lot of thoughts to myself in the last few weeks, and I realized if I am to win the lotto, I won't be telling anyone, but there would be a sign, and that sign would be like I've just gone 27, so like if I win it in the next year or two, like I'll probably pay whatever it takes to bring Tebi Rex back together for my 30th birthday.
Wouldn't take much.
But yeah, there's a load of core memories as you listed off there. And then without making it about myself, I have a load of core memories of you guys as well. Like even just before you went on the call there, I got reminded in my head of I can never, doing a podcast like this, you're looking at a lot of contact details for a lot of acts. And often under the list of contacts, they will have their booking agent there. And I can never see the words booking agent the same way again, because I remember you putting a video up when you got signed to a booking agent and you just did a whole video ranting off the various things that you needed. You were like, you want us to play your wedding? Booking agent. You want us to play your birthday? Booking agent. Want us for electric picnic? Booking agent. So when I see the words booking agent, I have to think of about 5 different occasions and say booking agent at the end.
Excellent. That's so funny.
Stuff like that stays with you. And even I think the most recent memory, besides preparing for all of this, was seeing the videos of yous at Electric Picnic in the middle of the night. And I just remember seeing it on socials, sat in the kitchen, desperately hungover, and I actually cried when I saw the mosh pit at I Never Got Off the Bus, because you had a really good lighting guy as well, because the strobes went off at the right time too. Like Everything
Yeah,
cooked
yeah, yeah.
nicely. I think
Yeah,
that's one
that
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 gets
was
people
really
going.
nice. It does. There's a few songs in there that are like people are really enjoying. It's so funny. Like I always joke with Max that like I am so tired and I'm so sick of performing Men Are Trash. It's one of the songs that just lived and survived through our 10 years together.
Come
But people
on.
love it live. People have so much fun with it live. And every time I see a video of people dancing to it, I'm like, yeah, I get it. I get it. I get why we're doing this song. But I don't know why I just don't enjoy performing it as much as I do other songs. But that's it. Like at Other Voices, there was a lovely there was a female-led mosh pit at Other Voices that was very lovely and
Big
well
ups.
behaved. And it was really nice actually. My partner was in it, and I saw videos of it, and that was sick. That was very wholesome. I really enjoyed that.
Yeah. So you've had Electric Picnic and you've had Other Voices and building up this following and community over the last 10 years who are all going to be showing up to the Button Factory on the 22nd of December.
Mm,
And you've
yes.
spent a lot of the year sort of bringing it back to that, like those people who've been within the orbit of the band for the last 10 years through like the videos you've done on endings. You had like a choir for Ireland's Full, both on the song and the video. And I would be remiss to not take myself importance pill to say choir
Yeah.
feature. And then I actually had a very lovely surprise from you on album release day.
Yeah.
I can actually officially say credited as a sampler.
There you go. Yeah, yeah, yeah.
Thank you
That
for
was
that.
I was delighted to do it. Absolutely, no problem. It was that
On the
was
ship
so
of Theseus.
fun to yeah, I didn't like I had to wait until the album dropped before I could tell people. And I was just like sending some people being like, hey, listen to track two. And they were like, why are you sending me this? Like I'm gonna listen to the album when I get a chance, no worries. I'm like, yeah, no worries, just listen to track two. Um, like that's nice and it's cool to bring people back. I think it's a very full circle moment and it's a good opportunity to do it with an album and like roll out and whether someone's, modeling merch or being a part of different songs or in the back or like whatever. Like that's why we brought if you look at the list of producers on that album, um, almost all of them are people we've worked with previously, and that like we brought back some people fully for that intention just to kind of close the loop.
For sure. Like, that must have been a huge amount of organization to contact all these people because after a certain number of months, I thought, oh, okay, right, they're done with the like videos on endings, but they just kept on coming. You had a lot of people to reach out to.
We had more videos that couldn't come out because our videographer had her SD card stolen. So there's actually more that didn't happen as well. And we have one or two more in the drive, but I don't think they're going to come out at this stage. Because they're really long and in a different language, and we have to translate them and do it. But yeah, it's tricky. Um, yeah, that was a fun piece to do. That was very interesting and it was very wholesome. And even myself, because when we filmed them, for a lot of the ones we filmed, me and Max and the videographer couldn't actually hear what was being said in the story because they were mic'd up and they were at a distance. And I wouldn't listen to them until I posted them. So I got to experience them with people watching it as well. That was cool. I like that.
Yeah, that was really nice. Now, all of this was towards the start of the album where you started reflecting. The credits are all like a
Mm.
movie, and then Ship of Theseus, where you had all that. I know I'm jumping right off to the gun here, but I can't not bring it up because I've had a lot of people bring it up to me in conversation when we're discussing the album, and that's And I'm Mad. Like
Oh,
that
yeah, yeah,
one,
yeah.
I've heard a lot of love on that one, not only from other people, but from myself too, of course. Um, it really just hit like a fucking bullet.
Nice.
Because I think it's really hard to make such a difficult song a banger at the same time. But personally, that's my favorite genre of things, is where it's
Yeah.
it's gonna make you weep, but somehow make you dance at the same time. I kind of felt like that with I Never Got Off the Bus at the start, except like I Never Got Off the Bus is almost like it's a bit lighter.
It has its pop charm for sure. Yeah, I
Pop charm
totally
is a
agree
good
with what
way.
you're saying. Like people came to our 2 a.m. set at EP that didn't know who we were, and they were like shaking ass to "Am I Mad?" and they would slowly stop shaking ass, and they're like, "Oh, this is about like this guy's dead mom and this guy's dead friend." And by the end, they're all kind of stood really still. So yeah, that song is it's probably it's definitely my favorite piece of art I've ever created. Um, and I think it's the most open and vulnerable I've ever been in a track. And because it was a poem, like the song wasn't written for the album. It was a poem I had written in my notes app just to kind of be expressive and to I don't know, just it just helped me at the time. And I was kind of thinking, I was like, God, I do want to address Mom's death on the album. Like, it is important to address the theme of death when you're talking about endings. Like, I would love to have this poem on the album, but I'm not going to do it unless it's right and unless it fits and unless it's perfect. Um, and it just wasn't happening, and that was fine. I was kind of like, all right, cool. I'm not gonna put that on. And then we got sent a beat pack from Adam Redmond, who did like Ireland's Fall, who did um. Oh, he did a ton of tracks on the album. I'm blanking on it now, but he I got that beat from him, and I wrote to Max, being like, "This is the one. This is the one. Listen to this." And I sent him the like a vocal take of me doing the "And I'm Mad" verse on that, and he was like, "Yeah." And he actually changed his verse on "And I'm Mad" was going to be a different track altogether, and he actually meshed his one to fit that, which was really cool. And that was good. That was really sweet. So I'm delighted with that track entirely. And I had no idea what Becky McNeese was going to do on it as a feature, and I was so fucking nervous because I didn't know Becky at the time. Max had kind of liaised with her on that, and I was like, God, what if I don't like what this person has done? What like this is such a big task for her. And then I heard it, and I was like, whoa, that's like I've never been blown away as much by a feature artist. Obviously taking Max out of the equation, he's not a feature artist, but he often sends me stuff that blows me away. But yeah, that was crazy. I bawled immediately. And I still there's very few times I listen to that song without crying. I really have to lock it in when I'm trying to rehearse with that song. Or I've only performed it live once, and it was a massive struggle. So I'll probably perform it live naturally at the headline show, at the final headline show. But I actually might just bring my verse back into it and just do it on track because it's so hard to do live. It's really tough.
Yeah, fair enough. And it's just such a yeah, I'm lost for words because it's such a beautiful way of honoring the sort of grief despite how difficult it is. And it checks out what you were saying there about how your verse was just something that you happened to say for no reason. Not
Yeah,
for no reason, but
yeah,
for processing purposes instead of for songwriting purposes, because that's exactly how it feels when it lands on you. It feels very natural in this paradoxical way. It shouldn't feel natural at all. But delivered with a good flow and the repetition of the words "and I'm mad" throughout, it's great because I suppose being mad and being angry isn't often addressed in songs relating to grief. It's often just the sadness, and don't get me wrong, the sadness is there, but people
yeah,
don't
yeah.
address the anger side of it, which is very complex to discuss and to try and unravel.
Yeah, because I think there's a big part of it where I know my family anyway, and other people have mentioned it to me as well who've lost their parents, and like people feel robbed at times. You know what I mean? It's like this has been taken from me unfairly. This is unjust, especially if someone doesn't die of old age. You're like, this isn't cool at all. Like I have a right to be pissed off at this. Um, someone wrote to me being like, it feels like I read your diary on that song or something. I felt like a diary entry. I'm like, oh, well, like I like that. That's very cool. Um, yeah, it's nice. I'm very pleased with it. I'm very, very pleased with it indeed. Fucking bizarre that uh I don't know if you watch wrestling. There's a big wrestler called Finn Balor, and he used that song on one of his Instagram stories, and I was like, "What the fuck is going on?" That's the most bizarre thing. Like, mom would absolutely be cackling at that. Yeah, that's crazy to me.
And you had the same production team for Ireland's Full,
Yeah, so
which is like a banger then, despite how difficult it is as well.
yeah, he can do whatever he wants, to be honest. He's crazy. He's an insane guy. Like the trumpets on Not What It Was For Real are just Adam Redmond's vocals. Like he's weird. He's really incredible. But Ireland's Full, he did that as well, and such a banger. And that was actually I mentioned earlier at the start of this session that like I there was some parts of the album I wasn't sure about or how they would go down, and Ireland's Full was one of them for me. Not because of the title or anything like that. I think people knew it was a satirical title. But and you'll know this as a Gaeilgeoir as well. I was so afraid that people might think I'm using Báidín Island as like a gimmick, or You know what I mean? Like it's not authentic or it's not. I don't know, because there's a lot of Irishness being used these days as like a, cause being Irish is cooler than ever now. And I think that's great because I think when I was a kid, people weren't, it wasn't as mainstream to be Irish and cool. It was more like people wanted to have like American influence and stuff. Um, so it's cool that people are doing a lot of stuff in music and clothing and branding with Irish shit everywhere. But I was kind of worried people might think Bodgy and Islamy or Ireland's Full was hinting at that. Luckily, that was all in my head, thank fuck. But yeah.
Yeah, it's definitely being used as a marketing tool. But I remember when I saw you in January, shortly after you announced that the band was ending, and why I say this episode has been 11 months in the making, because I was like, you're going to come on. You told me the title Ireland's Full. I just laughed out loud because I was just like, I know they're in for a real can of worms here when this comes out.
Yeah. We got a can of worms, all right. I manage our social media and I was getting some crazy messages. Yeah.
Sure, you had a great time.
Yeah, look, rather me than Max, you know what I mean? That's what I say. Like
True.
he's had such tough times on social media as it was, and always will, you know. That's just the life of being black in Ireland and being black in general. So I was happy to kind of field whatever came into my inbox from whatever crazy people. Um, did I try and antagonize people online? Maybe I did a little bit, and maybe I don't know if that's the way to go or not. But look, I had my fun, and the song is good, so that's what's important.
I've had my fun, and that's all that matters.
That's all that matters.
Now, how do you think all these songs are going to go down at the live show?
Well, we've been performing. Have we performed all of them live? I think so. At least once, and they're going down well live. Like it sounds good. Um, I'm happy. I'm happy enough. Because they're different, you know. Like every album is in a different genre influence, and this is our first time doing like a dance influence. And for some of them, again, it's like the Men Are Trash effect. It's like, well, Men Are Trash I know is going well when I'm up on stage, but like not with a Pistol for Real and Finn, those two songs, when I perform them live, for me, I'm standing still. And for Finn, like I'm repeating the same two lines over and over again. So I'm like, is this entertaining? Is this good? Is this fun? Is this nice? Are you guys liking this? You know what I mean? So those are the only ones where I'm like, how'd that go down? I always come off stage, I'm like, what was that like? Um, and I always get a great reception for people like Finn anyway. It's a good track, but not with a Fizzle for Real. People get quite emotional during, which was the intent. So that's good. And then the rest of them are all like pretty much they're all rappy enough, or they're all got their own kind of thing. Ireland's Full goes down super fucking well. Went down really well in other voices. Um, we opened the shows with Like a Movie a lot as well, which is quite cool. Shipatisia is just a good rap tune. So like, yeah, there's loads of good stuff in there. Saddle Club's probably my favorite song live, I think.
Yeah, I can already hear it, like not
Yeah.
to self-reference the sample, but I am imagining what that song would be like live, and I'm just like,
Yeah.
when I listened to it, I was like, yeah, I've seen this kind of Tebi Rex before. That's probably not making any sense, but I was like, it has
Yeah.
some kind of groove to it that I know that these two boys have done before, and they know they crush it at the shows, and people get into
Yeah.
it.
It's very enjoyable. I love it. And yeah, I think that was the song. There was one song where I had to rewrite my verse because Max was like, "Yeah, look, the verse is great, but it's too you sound too much like old Tebi Rex on this. You need to change the verse." So I think it might have been that one. I can't remember now. Yeah,
That's what friends are for.
that's what, and that he's very good for that. To be fair.
And I want to ask, because you were just mentioning it there about Finn. It was the lead single. What was the decision making behind the fact that your verse is like two four lines over and over again? Was there some kind of repetition in your head, or was it kind of you thought this is all I want to say on this, and it's all I have to say?
Bit of both. It was also based on that's what a lot of dance music is. You know, a lot of
Very
dance
true.
music is repeated refrains over and over again, and that was kind of we wanted the first single um to really conceptualize, give people an idea of this is what the final sound is going to be. So get used to this. This is what it's going to sound like. So Finn, the final song came first, and led the way with that, and we were like, right. not that I wanted to keep the first few lines simple, but we definitely wanted to just stack my vocals, do loads of vocal runs, do loads of different versions of it, do loads of harmonies and different melodies, because that is in line with what dance music is. But also for me, I like it because I wouldn't have been able to do that as a vocalist on the first or second album. As like I've worked really hard on vocals and being able to do that. I think that's like that was the 10,000 hours coming through, and being able to do that on the final album was a real nice moment for me. Especially there was there was one track, what was it? I think it was like a movie actually, um, where I had to do like a basically like a stack of four different kind of rising harmonies or whatever, and did it in one take. And we were just doing it, got it, nailed it, and then we were just working away. And on the drive home to Max, I was like, "Do you know, I did that in one take. Like that would have not happened a couple of years ago. I used to be so garbage at like, at doing anything. Even like doing the main vocal take was techie for me. So that was a real moment of kind of satisfaction and a kind of bit of closure for me as a vocalist as well.
Definitely. And you led with the emotion a lot because I feel, in general, I don't think in music a lot, in like kind of that world of hip hop, but also blending over into a bit of dance and even poppier elements. The production often gets tossed aside when people are kind of not being critical, but when people are reviewing things, and I don't think enough attention is given to how the actual sound of the track can lead the emotion. A lot of people just go to the vocals or they just go to the
Yeah,
lyrics, which are of course important. But from the
yeah,
first listen of Finn, I was just like, oh, this album is gonna kick us a lot.
yeah.
Simply just based on the key and how you produce some of the synths and the fact that it's dancing, but it's very tuned to have a bit of a sting in it.
Yeah. And like Evan Kennedy was on job with that, who produced it. Like he does not mess around at all with
No.
his production. Like it's always important. Every sound is every note, every placement, everything in there has a point, has a purpose, and is doing something. And it's all on a to push a kind of an emotional vibe because, like you said, I'm only saying a couple sentences. It has to have an emotional vibe. It has to feel something. Um, Naturally, Daffy's verse at the end is always going to be a heart clincher. But yeah, the song, the actual music itself sonically had to pull its weight as well. It wasn't just a YouTube beat we stole, you know?
It really, really did. And that actually recalls your first time on Lame Heart. We had a whole chat about the YouTube beats.
Oh yeah, man. Yeah. I love stealing YouTube beats.
Oh yeah, the type beats.
I love a tight beat. There's nothing wrong with a tight beat, man. You know, it's budget friendly. If you don't know how to produce, it's very useful. And look, there's good producers out there making good beats on YouTube. Nothing wrong with it.
There is. And I think one of my favorite tweets of all time, I think Kelani tweeted it saying, I've never come across a Kelani type beat that I like.
Oh, did you say that? Yeah. I like some of the Kalani type beats.
I like some of the Kelani type beats as well, has to be said. But
No,
yeah,
I never made it big enough to get a Tebi Rex type beat on YouTube. That's so sad. I don't think anyway.
well, I think you're
Um,
eclectic enough. You're
I'm
on
not.
YouTube right now, aren't you?
Yeah, I'm checking it. I don't think it exists though.
Do you want to know what's on
Um,
my tab on my laptop? Do you know what I was doing for the last 10 minutes before we got on here?
what?
I had 10 minutes free and I was like, what am I going to do? I'm not going to just sit and be miserable. I was watching California.
That's so good. Nah, there's T-Rex type beats. I fucking hate
Nah.
T-Rex. I absolutely despise whatever T-Rex is. Whenever I ask Google to play Tebi Rex, it plays T-Rex instead. It's so annoying.
Are you ever going to actually tell people what Tebi Rex means?
I tell you what I plan on doing. Now, I haven't followed through on this yet, so I can't 100% say if it's going to happen. But I think it'd be cool if at the headline show, when everything ends and we take our final bow or whatever, the meaning of Tebi Rex just comes on screen for whoever's in the audience, and then we walk off and leave it. I think that'd be
Yeah,
cool. But I haven't asked anyone to draw that up yet. So until I need to get on that to make that happen.
you do. Well, this is going to be your last ever gig, the 22nd of December, Button Factory
Mm.
Dublin. It's going to be like a wedding and a funeral all at once. A wedding in that it's
Oh
all people
yeah.
who like loosely know each other because of a pair of people who are being celebrated, and they're all kind of either reuniting or there's always people that don't want to speak to each other. There's a lot of handshakes. I feel like nearly you should be at the door because you know when you walk out of the church, the couple are there and you have to shake the hands very quickly and you just go by. But then it's
That's
going to turn into
so
like a
funny.
funeral too because it's sad.
Yeah, yeah, that's such a nice way to describe it. Because I always describe gigs as like when you're a musician and you have a headline show, it's your fucking 21st birthday all over again. Because everyone you know and care about is there and they all want to say hi. Because of course they do. They paid money to be there. Um, so you're just constantly shaking hands, making sure you're chatting to them, making sure you're saying thanks to everyone. And like, like it is so fucking funny. So you're right, it's gonna be a wedding and a funeral.
I think, oh, I'm still just concerned. I only thought of the wedding and funeral thing this morning, so the concept is still in my head. But I just think it's going to be really beautiful.
I hope so. I'm definitely going to be crying a lot, and I think I
Oh,
might
yeah.
even wear all black for it as well. You never know. Um, yeah, that's why the Tebi Rex merch was all black, so I wanted people to feel like their mourning. Um, yeah, yeah, yeah. I like it. I like that as a concept.
Yeah. You've had some very cool merch over the years as well.
That was very important to me. And I'm glad you said it because I wanted our flowers for that because we put like we didn't the merch we've made as well. Not always made much money. Some of it, like we didn't like we broke even on some stuff just because we thought it was cool. Um, like those sweater vests, they cost us a bomb. They were hand stitched by Ballsy Wallsy embroidery, and like I don't think we made any money on them. The Atletico jerseys, Atletico Ginger, they were made in Ireland as well. Yeah, 'cause I mean, I am a clothing designer outside of music, so I was it was important to me to make good merch. But I only started making clothes recently because of I love making merch so much. I was like, right, I want to make clothes as well.
Yeah, those jerseys were so cool. I'm nearly like angry in hindsight I didn't get one, but I do have the yellow Young Will Eat the Old. I don't know if it's still
Oh
gonna fit, but
yeah,
I have to try and like get it back out for
I'll
the last
see
show.
what there's some orange jerseys left. I don't know what sizes are left though. I'll hold one for you and you can have it as a gift from Tebi Rex if I could if there's one there.
Ah, you're very good.
There you go.
I'm keeping that in the edit so that you're held to this.
That's no problem. That's no problem. I can check what sizes I have. I know there's some locked away somewhere, and I'm doing merchy Christmas in town
Oh
this
yeah.
weekend. But I'll make sure there's one saved for you for the headline show.
Ah, thanks, thanks. Yeah, I'm mad not to be making Merchy Christmas this year. It's a
I
lovely
think Kate
tradition.
Nash is going. Kate Nash from the station's going to be
Oh,
there. Yeah.
hardly. But
So,
I'm in Galway. She records out here a lot.
oh, does she?
Yeah, in on Spidell.
Oh, that's mad.
Yeah,
Because she's got family in Wicklow or Waterford or some shit, isn't it?
I actually don't know her
I
personally,
don't know.
but
I
maybe.
don't know her personal arrangements.
No, but I
I'll
only
look for
know
you.
the studio because she has posted that she's recording there. I'm not a stalker, don't worry, guys.
Ah, that's so funny. Yeah, she's sick. Always a fan.
Oh yeah, I know yous were always a fan. I think yous
Yeah,
have brought
yeah,
her
yeah.
up a few times before, yeah.
Oh, she actually comes up a disproportionate amount. Like, you know what I mean? It's probably not great how much she comes up in interviews for us. We just love her.
Well, that'd be class if you've had some sort of crossover at fucking Merchy Christmas of all places.
I know because we've had lots of internet crossover and we follow each other. And I actually did write to her to see if she would do a feature on the album, but she never got back to me. So there you
Oh,
go. I got aired, which was sad. But I think she was in the middle of making her own project, so that's fine. I'll let it slide, I guess.
mm,
Kate,
yeah.
Kathleen, whatever. Kathleen Miash.
Kathleen the Ash. I think I went to see 49th in Maine like 2 or 3 days before Christmas a few years ago, and there was something very special in the air in a good way. Like it was kind of a
That's
bit
nice.
emotional because not only is it like a benchmark show and it's great, but then having Christmas alongside.
Oh, that's cute. I'm looking forward to that. Although I will say I have 12 pubs the next day, so I'm going to be in an absolute hoop. Like that's horrific. And I always do 12 pints of Guinness at 12. Often I do more. Um, so I'm going to be real sick.
Ní málam de friblót.
No, near Milam, I on the road. But here we are.
Here we are. You're gonna get through it. Last show, 22nd of December, Button Factory Dublin. Gonna try not to cry. Probably won't succeed at that. But the new album, well, toddler album, Finn, but also the last one is out now. Ma of Tebi Rex, thank you for coming on for the third time.
Thank you for having me. Look, sorry it was just me today. What'll happen is now you have to get Fillmore for an interview at some stage as well. So he owes you
Oh,
that now. There you go. But thank you to all of the Lame Heart listeners for listening to me chat shit. For an accumulation of probably about 3 hours if you add all the episodes together. Listen to all the episodes back to back. That's what I'm gonna do. And
oh,
then
that
listen to
could
the
be
albums
good.
back to back, and then listen to the EPs back to back, and then meet me and give me a tenner, and it'd be great.
And then go and watch us perform together in RTE2FM Studio 8 doing I Never Got Off the
Oh
Bus.
fuck yeah, yeah, yeah. Man, we've had a crazy link of collaborations over the years. That's excellent.
Yeah, a lot of reminiscing. Gurmila Magat.
Grandma, I got to come on.